Okay, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of hashtag CB99 Talks. Today, I got a special guest with me. She's actually going to be fighting next Thursday on Invicta FC 42, and she's actually going to be opening the card, right? I have Flore
Yeah,
Hani with me, and thanks for coming on, Flore.
yeah. Well, thanks for having me.
Oh,
After the couple setting
yeah,
problems.
we had some technical difficulties, but we got it together now. So,
Yeah.
how's everything been going with you?
Can't complain. I mean, it's the last week, so definitely rough about the diet. But I'm really excited about going back to Invicta. Really excited about this fight. Just doing what I like to do. I'm
Oh,
very excited about this fight. Yeah, I had a very good camp. Um, I'm definitely ready, and yeah, I want to put up a good show.
oh yeah, I understand. With this whole pandemic that's been going on, it's been a while since you've been out of there. So, like, was this like a relief to be able to train again? Like, was it say, but did it feel good to get back in there and say, I got a fight coming up?
Well, training was not really the issue. I mean, I had a very weird year since it
Mm,
started. I went after my last fight in November. I went back home in Tahiti for like a couple weeks. And when I was home, I had the good news that I was fighting at the end of January for LFA.
hmm
I had a proposal to fight on the last card I had in California. So I was super pumped up. After Christmas, I just flew right away to United States. And like first week of January, during a wrestling practice, I got injured. So it was a fucked up way to start the year. Fight canceled. And by the time, I recovered, it was like mid-February. Actually, by the time I could like start really training full camp, it was end of February, like wrestle and everything. Because after an ankles injury, you can wrestle right away even if you start to train again. And right when it could have been the good moment to like, start a camp or something, the pandemic started. So what happened is that we kept training no matter what because we had so many UFC fighters that were like on hold in the team, knowing that the UFC was going to find out a way to keep running events. So all those UFC fighters had they needed training partner no matter what. And I trained with Carla Esparza, and she was actually like on the first show that happened, in Florida,
Yeah.
after the quarantine. So she definitely needed training partners. So I kept training. And what happened is that at the end of her camp, I got injured again for my knee this time. And I was like, man, this year fucking sucks. Like, I was depressed as like, it wasn't a bad injury, but you mess up one of your joints and then you're stuck for at least 4 or 5 weeks again. So by May, honestly, I was depressed. I was fat.
Oh, you good?
And it's terrible for me because I was feeling like, man, I'm stuck in United States. I can't even go home, because taking the risk to fly back home in that situation, it was like taking the risk to be stuck at home then and not being able to come back here and I was thinking always in the back of my mind, I'm sure that, some promotions are going to find a way to run events no matter what. And it finally happened in July when I heard that Invicta and LFA was going to run events again. Then I started to hope because I knew that, being in the United States, being ready, kept training, I could jump in any fights that those promotion would propose me. I was secretly hoping for Invicta because I really love fighting for Invicta, and I have a contract with them. But yeah, it finally happened, and when I had this my management told me that yeah, I was set up for the next event in September. I was so happy, like, you know. finally, after 8, 9 months of freaking hell,
Yeah.
you know that you're gonna be able to do what you're supposed to do, because pretty much like I was like, okay, I'm in United States, I have a job, because I have to pay my bills,
Right.
and no money comes in from fighting. So I'm pretty much doing everything that I'm not supposed to do, or actually why I'm not in the United States for that, and what I'm here for, I can't even do it. So it was really hard, like mentally.
Hmm.
But we're finally there, it's happening, and I'm really grateful for to Invicta to have these events, and like, giving the opportunity to so many female fighters to be on the card. It's great.
Yeah, I've been following Invicta since they started, like past 8 years now. Like, this is
Yeah.
your second time, being on one of their cards. Like, how does it feel to be, part of like one of those biggest, it's like one of the biggest movements for
Oh yeah.
women's MMA.
Oh, definitely. Like I remember when I was watching Invicta in the first couple events, and I remember I always thought that one day I'd be there. Like, it was for me, fighting for Invicta was definitely a goal. Like, one day for me fighting for UFC is a goal, but fighting for Invicta was definitely a goal. That was like the first goal as an MMA fighter. That was my first goal. I was like, I want to fight for Invicta. I always wanted that, and the first time I went there, and that I've seen this amazing job that Shannon has been doing. Like, honestly, like, this promotion is amazing. The whole crew is amazing. Everything, all the work that has been put in to keep this promotion going on, and make sure that female fighters are like the center of this event. It's amazing. It's just wow. And being part of it, well, I'm so proud, especially for me, coming from like a small island in the middle of the ocean Pacific.
Hmm.
It, it's big. It's pretty
Yeah.
big.
Well, I'm going to ask you about that. You came from Tahiti, right?
Yeah.
And you moved to Southern California. Like, what made you transition from there, like from Southern California? Like, is MMA illegal over there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, because
Oh.
well, okay. So to start with, like, I was living in United States before. Like, 10 years ago, I moved to United States for the first time, but it was like absolutely not fight related.
Mm.
Um, I was in the military, and I was offered a position for NATO. So that's how the first time I ended up in United States. But like, many things happened, many years later. I was like, so I was in Tahiti, and Tahiti is a French territory, and
Mm.
France was like one of the last country that never legalized MMA until this year. I mean, on paper, this year it's legalized, but technically, like, like, they never run any events. They never like really took the step to do something. And with the pandemic happening this year, I don't think it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like, but technically now it's legal since February 2020. MMA is supposed to be legal in Tahiti and France. But until that, like, you have to understand that coming from a place where you have absolutely no MMA events, no real MMA gyms, then you have to travel to train and fight. And that's what have been my life for the past couple of years. And I went to Australia, I went to Europe, and yeah, finally decided to move to United States at the end of 2018. Colin Oyama offered me the opportunity to come and train here. And so, I was like, well, that's where I need to be, because nothing was happening for me. It was really hard to get fights.
Yeah. What was your first discipline as far as the martial arts? Was it kickboxing or boxing?
Boxing.
Boxing.
Boxing was really like, um, what? Yeah, when I really started to compete and everything, yeah, boxing, definitely. I've done a lot of martial arts being younger, like, um, but really, like, what really has been my first step in fighting world, like, as a very dedicated fighters and, competing, that's boxing.
Hmm. What was like the difference for you trying to make that transition from boxing into mixed martial arts? Like, where did you get that eye opener and say, "Damn, this is different"? Like where was it like, "Wow, I got to really change this up"?
I guess I will always remember the first time I had my first jiu-jitsu session. I was like, what the fuck is that shit? When you're a striker like me, like,
Yeah,
and you're like, being like, on your feet,
yeah,
I was like, what the hell? Because I kind of knew a little bit wrestling, and wrestling, I always thought wrestling was fun because you up anyway, um, and it's all about like, it's very, how to say that, very explosive, very, it kind of like, it wasn't like a huge change with the first, with boxing, except the fact that you're like, moving. I mean, of course it's different, but like you still on your feet, like you start on your feet, you have to be like using a lot of like movements.
yeah. Hmm.
But like jiu-jitsu for me was like, oh my god, the first time I tried it, I was like, I hate that shit. I hate it. I didn't understand how my strength was not making a difference. Like, it actually took me a while for like really um flow on the floor, like being on the ground. Like, it was really something that I didn't like. I didn't like at all. And like, I remember the first couple sparring session I had in MMA. Like, when someone was taking me down, I was thinking, motherfucker, when we're gonna go back on the feet, I'm gonna fuck you up. It was terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that was the big difference I had to get used to.
Okay. Yeah, because a few fighters I've already talked to, every time I tell them I come from the boxing background, they tell me when you go into, if you want to try Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, they say you got to be humble. They say because you're probably going to get choked out or tapped out
Oh
the
yeah,
first
that was terrible. I remember that. I remember
time.
that, and I was like, man, I don't like that. I don't like these things.
Yeah. Hmm. So that's like the one discipline that you kind of have to learn to love it though, right? You just got to go.
I'm gonna tell you something. I don't love it. You
Yeah.
know, I kind of got used to it. What I really love is the tense. When I started to like train here at Timoyama, I started
Hmm.
to appreciate it more because we train with tense planet
Hmm.
jiu-jitsu, and I actually love my jiu-jitsu coach, Budo Matt. Matt Salinas is he's a badass. Like, and training with him like made a huge difference in my perception of jiu-jitsu
Hmm.
because he loves jiu-jitsu so much that he's this kind of person that can make you feel his love for the sport, and then he kind of like make you see it the way you see it. It's weird to explain, but like my perception of jiu-jitsu completely changed when I started to train with him.
Hmm.
And I have to admit that now I kind of enjoy it. I enjoy jiu-jitsu. I enjoy learning new things. I enjoy feeling my progression on the floor. I really like, I'm a completely different grappler now than I was 2 years ago when I started to like come to United States and train here.
Hmm.
And yeah, it's interesting now to have like all these feelings, when you feel the movement and everything. Yeah, it's very interesting.
Okay. So what's the biggest difference between like striking MMA and striking and boxing? Like what's the biggest difference? Was there like any adjustments you make for that?
Oh, completely. Like, if you watch me boxing, if you watch me fight in a boxing fight,
Yeah.
and you watch me fight in the MMA fight on my feet, I absolutely don't box the same way. I don't use my boxing the same way because
Mm.
you have to be worried about the takedown all the time, and the
Yeah.
kicks and being able to kick. when you're boxing, you can be very planted, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you're not gonna worry about getting your legs chopped off or like getting taken down.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I had to do a lot of the adjustments, even on my feet. You know, MMA was a complete different world. You know, even when you've been like boxing for years and that you're used to a certain boxing style
Mm-hmm.
that works very good in a boxing ring, it doesn't mean that it's gonna work in a MMA fight. You know, definitely not. And you also have to adjust to every different type of opponents you can get. You know,
Yeah.
so yeah, it was a big change, a big
Mm-hmm.
change.
Well, let me ask you this. Okay, since you were a boxer, why MMA? What made you jump over to MMA? Like, what's
Okay, I'm gonna be really honest with
yeah,
you. You don't make money in boxing as a female. You don't.
yeah, yeah,
You don't.
yeah,
Look at all the biggest card, pay-per-view, biggest card of boxing where men makes millions. I'm not kidding. Like boxing for men, you make shit ton of money when
yeah,
you get to these big fights. You never have a female fight on those cards. Even now, where we kind of have good paid female boxing fighters, they still are on shows. They are not on this type of cards. You know,
right,
you
yeah,
you never see like you will never see a Pacquiao fight with a female fight on the undercard.
no, no,
It's
you
not
won't.
it's not happening.
Uh-uh.
So I was like, I'm about to turn pro in boxing, and what am I gonna make? Like couple $1,000? And I was seeing all those females in MMA that were making it big. Like it was starting to get big, and I was like, man, those girls are making money. They
Yeah,
are in the UFC and everything. And I, I was like, I love fighting, but no matter how much I love boxing, I'm never gonna make a big career with that. Never. This is not happening, you know.
yeah.
So I would say that was the first motivation. I'm not lying. That was the first motivation for that.
Oh yeah, I
Um,
understand. Yeah,
yeah,
like,
and also because I think I'm a violent person. I mean, I like violent sport. I always loved violent sports,
mm-hmm.
and MMA had this aggression when I was watching it, and it was attracting me. You know, I liked it. I
Mm-hmm.
was like, damn, I want to do that. Like, I think it's in, like the first time I saw a bare knuckle fight, I was like, man, I want to do that one day. You
Mm.
know. So
Yeah,
yeah, it's
yeah,
that was the first reason.
yeah. I see a lot of some of the ladies in boxing. Like Amanda Serrano,
Hmm.
Heather Hardy. They've all kind of been going to MMA too because they say the money is better. That's why they leave
The
boxing.
money is better, but yeah, then you have to make sure that, like me, I think when you're really advanced in boxing, you have a hard time to completely let it go.
Mhm.
Me personally, right now, I'm all about MMA. Like
Yeah.
I'm not saying that if I don't have a good proposition for a boxing fight, I wouldn't take it. But like when I did this transition to MMA, like I was like, okay, it's all about MMA right now.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I was completely focused on that, and I feel like most of those girls, they do it, but they don't really do it like fully. They don't want to let go what they have in boxing already,
Hmm.
which makes sense. I mean, when you already have been a world champ, you already have this title. It's different.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I understand. What do you think? Like, I know, like, at least in women's MMA, it seems like they're treated fairly too. Because what do you think about in boxing, like the 2 minute rounds for women? Like,
Now,
instead
I
of three
think the
minutes.
2 minutes round is a very good thing.
You think so?
Yeah, I think the 2 minutes rounds are a good thing. What I think though is that why the maximum rounds are 10.
Yeah,
We should
10
have
rounds.
12 rounds too.
Yeah.
But I think the 2 minutes round are a good thing. You have to accept the physiological difference between men and women. That's a fact. That's true.
Okay.
And men's can perform very good for 3 minutes. I feel like the what I like about the 2 minutes rounds is that you don't have time to set up in your round like in the 3 minutes. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Of course, now when I see the difference with the 5 minutes, 2 minutes seems to me very short. But I think it. I think the 2 minutes round are not the issues. It's just that we should have female boxing fights that goes to 12 rounds like the men's fight, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that would
I
be
agree
more
with that.
money too because most of the promoters in boxing they pay you by rounds.
Uh.
People don't know that, but yeah, it does.
Wow.
So
Wow.
yeah,
That's crazy. So that's like, yeah, man. That I agree with that. Yeah, it should be at least 12 rounds. But yeah, I can see
yeah,
where you're coming from with 2 minutes. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So jumping back to this Invicta card, how does it feel to be open in the card? You get to be the first fight on there and put the
yeah. Well, I don't. Uh, as long as I'm fighting, I'm
yeah,
good.
yeah,
I'm that's it. That's even more exciting, I'm gonna be the kickoff of the fight of the event. So yeah, it's
yeah.
cool. It's
Mm,
gonna be nice.
okay. And you actually an army veteran, right?
Yeah,
So
French Army, yeah.
French Army. Okay. How long you stay in there?
I did 6 years as an active duty.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
6 years. Oh, okay. So does that discipline from the army, does it help you translate over to MMA? Does it help you a lot, like the discipline
Um,
as far as
I
getting
think
up?
yeah, I think this discipline and this lifestyle that I had for years as a young person definitely helped me to have this full discipline, and this lifestyle that I have now, always being away from home, always being away from your family, getting used to be like adapt to any situation you have to adjust to, you
Hmm.
know,
Yeah.
like changing country, like and everything. Yeah, I don't think I would have been able to do that in my age if my military background didn't teach me that.
Mm.
you know you know what I mean, like
Yeah.
you don't
Yeah.
have a lot of people who are able to like pack their bags and just fucking leave and they don't know when they're going to come back home.
Yeah.
And me, I know I can do that because I've been doing that for years. That was my
Right.
life you know
Yeah.
and yeah, of course, this sense of duty, this when you have to suck it up even when it sucks and everything, like it's something that I've been taught through years in the military, and working as a team. It's something that you need to in MMA, no matter what, if you're by yourself in the cage, everything that leads you up to these moments where you're going to be by yourself in the cage is the teamwork. You're nothing without your teammate,
Hmm.
So yeah, I think it's all related. And when I see the bigger picture now, I feel like that was my destiny to go through the military so I could have all the tools and the weapons to be able to do what I love to do now.
Hmm.
It really brought a lot on the scale for me,
Yeah.
for sure.
What are what are some things that you really learned from your team that are really valuable to you, that you really appreciate with your team? Like, what are some things that you really take to
You mean
heart with?
at Timoyama here?
Yeah. Hmm.
Oh, it's it's something like Timoyama is really like that's the place where, I've if I had to describe it in one sentence, it's like you never fucking quit,
Mm.
you know? Like Timoyama is really a place where if you want to make it among this team, you have to make sure you, you don't fucking quit
Hmm.
about anything. Because Coach Oyama is tough. and he's expecting us to be very tough. He's training us like freaking,
Mhm.
this we were talking about it the other day with Brittany, and we were like laughing about it. But like seriously, like when you think about those Soviet Olympic camps,
Yeah, yeah.
we were like, man, this is how it is. Yeah, like for
Uh-huh.
real, because we had like several fighters coming from like outside, that came and tried it out, came and trained at Team Oyama, and they told us like, hey, you guys don't fuck around in this team, like you train hard. And I was like,
Hmm.
yeah, we do, we
Hmm.
do. It's so yeah. What I've learned about uh, about this team is that yeah, you're not allowed to quit.
Yeah.
You have to suck it up no matter what.
So that
And
in some ways it kind of makes you learn something about yourself, right? You really have to dig deep, don't you? Like you really feel like, oh, you have something in you never had before because you're really getting pushed, right?
well, I've been pushed in different situations in my life, so
Yeah.
I knew already what I had inside my guts.
Yeah.
I guess that training here just proved me every day how bad I wanted it,
Yeah.
because I
Hmm.
was like, why would I live this life if I didn't wanted it that bad? And sometimes it was like, man, I wanted it that bad, but I've been through that shit. So
Right.
yeah, I think that's what it really taught me is that it didn't taught me that I was able to do it. It just told me that, damn, I really want it that bad, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I understand that. Hey. So going to Thursday night, some interesting information. Your opponent, Jennifer Chang, y'all actually got a little bit of history before, huh? Y'all actually threw down in the boxing
Yeah,
ring. Like what?
yeah, we met each other before.
Like 7 years
So
ago.
was that, yeah, 7 years ago?
Hmm.
Jen and I, we fought for the quarterfinals of the Women's National Golden Glove. Yeah, in the
Okay.
amateur. But hey, no matter what was the outcome of this fight, I make I'm not underestimating her. She's been doing her own thing on her side. Got a lot of boxing fights since. I've seen that she had couple amateur MMA fight, one pro fight on Bellator.
Mm.
Um, there's something about me is that I never go to thinking that I'm like underestimating my opponents, you know.
Yeah.
Because for me, someone who has the guts to step in the cage and take a fight deserve respect.
Yeah.
And I look up at her and I'm like, yeah, we have this story before in boxing, but this is gonna be different. We're
Mhm.
older, we're more experienced, and this is MMA.
Yeah.
So yeah, do I take her seriously? Fuck yeah, I do. Of course. And she might feels like she has to prove something too. So yeah, it's no hard feelings. Like I said, I never take anything personally about my opponents. I don't give a fuck. They're here to like have a fight with me. If they were not here, then this fight is not happening. So but when the cage is gonna close behind us, my goal is gonna take my goal is gonna to take her out. That's it.
Hmm. Hey, yeah. Hey, I'm with you there. You got to make a statement, right? So, you said you're a big fan of violence. Like,
Exactly.
how were you when you were growing up? Like, were you like always picking fights with some of the guys, or like when the guys try to pick on you or anything like that? Would you just like
Yeah,
scrap
I
with them?
was I was I was terrible. I was a troublemaker in school, always having fights, and I was always like I was always hanging out with guys, and I was always being like, hey, let's fight, like because for me fighting was fun. It
Yeah.
always has been something fun. I like it, and I like this. You know, I think I always saw fighting as a competition, as something that I don't know. It's in my genes. Like I like fighting.
Hmm.
You know. That's it. It's just something that I can't explain. It's part of me. And yeah, I was always fighting with this. And sometimes I was getting my ass kicked, and it was making me super mad. So I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to fuck them up even more, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was a fighter. Always, I've been a fighter in school as a kid.
Mm-hmm. Well, let me ask you this: like, for you now that you're in MMA, like, do you more so appreciate the science behind fighting now, or did you still just appreciate the violent side? Like, what do you like most about like being in the sport? Like, is it the fighting or the martial arts side of it?
Um, I think now being older and like, wiser, I would say, I really appreciate it more about like, all the, for me, it's like an art, you learn about it and you
Mm-hmm.
learn how to do it, and for me, that's really what's the beauty about it, is
Yeah.
that you have, especially for MMA, because it's so vast, you have this wrestling aspect, you have the jiu-jitsu aspect, you have the striking aspect, and there's so many tools, and there's like, I feel like you never stop learning, and for me that's really what I love about this sport. I really
Mm-hmm.
love it because I feel like there's always a way to improve. And yeah, do I like the violence of it? Of course I do, but that's not what the main thing I think about when I think about it. You know,
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, fight is Thursday. When you guys leave for Kansas City?
we're flying on Sunday,
Flying on
Sunday
Sunday.
morning. So yeah, actually, I live with Brittany Cloudy. Like we're roommates, we're teammates
Oh,
and
okay.
roommates. So yeah, we're flying. We're gonna get ready tomorrow, pack up everything, and fly on Sunday. We had like because of the COVID-19 situation, Invicta sent us like a very strict schedule about how things are gonna happen
Mm-hmm.
when we're gonna get there. So yeah, by the when we're gonna get there, everything's gonna be very like tight about everything we have to do. So yeah.
Oh, okay. How many tests do y'all have to take? Y'all have to take like two or three COVID tests when you get there, or did they say?
I think we have one when we get there
Uh-huh.
first, and then we might have like two more during the week because we're not allowed to leave the hotel at all.
Mm,
So I don't know how they are gonna do it. I think we have like two or three during
two or
the
three. Oh,
week,
okay.
maybe more. I have no clue exactly like how they're gonna decide to do it. I know that we have one when we get there, and that we're gonna be stuck in our bedrooms until they tell us that day that we can like walk around, in the hotel like this.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't want to keep you. I just got a couple more questions for you, but I saw
Yeah,
your
no problem.
okay. I saw your workouts on YouTube. And things are intense, huh? So, do you still do those? Like, are you still a trainer like that? Like,
Oh,
those.
I train. I always have been like I always have been an athlete, like
Yeah.
all my life, and I think I
Mm-hmm.
will always be, because when I think about it, I'm like, I'm not that young anymore, like I'm 33, going to my 34th. But like when I think about me fighting, I'm like, man, I'm gonna do it until I'm like 45 for sure.
Yeah.
Like my body is like, I always have been like training hard, always being an
Mm-hmm.
athlete, always. And for me, like even when like last time when I went home for like 6 weeks, there was not one day where I didn't work out.
Mm.
Like for me, working out is just part of my. It's I can, yeah, I train hard. Like I always like to push myself
Mm-hmm.
about my conditioning and everything. It's something that, yeah, I like. I like it. I just like it.
Okay. Yeah.
Some people they like food. I mean,
Yeah.
I like
That's
food too, but like,
yeah. Yeah. That's what you
working out is
addicted
my
to, right?
thing. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw like your workouts where you were training people too, like the strength and conditioning workouts you were doing. I said, that's intense stuff. I said, if I ever come out there, I might have to take one of your classes to see if I can hang.
Yeah, I own a gym back home.
Yeah.
So when I'm over there, like it doesn't change much. Like I spend my whole day in the gym or training people or training
Hmm.
myself. But like, yeah.
Okay. I mean, you make it sound like you old. I'm older than you, so you calling me old then, man.
No, I mean like
You talking about you 33?
I
Hey,
don't
you
know.
making me feel
It's
old
just
now?
that
Dang.
sorry, it's not this way, but I don't feel old. I
Yeah,
don't
I
feel
don't either.
old,
Yeah.
but it's just like now you see so many young people starting so young this sport. Like
Yeah.
like in my team, like I train with kids. I was already graduating high schools, and they were just getting born. And now I
Yeah.
train with them. It's
Yeah.
just
That's crazy.
so
Yeah.
sometimes you feel like, man, I'm actually old.
Hmm.
Even if I'm not old, but like
Yeah.
it's just,
Oh
well,
yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
25. I'm not 25 anymore. That's what I mean.
Hey, yeah, well, yeah, that's gone. My 25th birthday's been gone. So, but
Yep.
yeah, yeah, Flora. One last question I got for you. I mean, I know it's been a rough year, but like, what is something you got to tell people, even like fight fans, like how to stay positive, just like even your fans, like how to stay positive in such a rough year? Because I mean, you had a rough year, but hey, it seems to be turning out okay now. I mean, yeah, you always stay in good shape and everything. What's something you want
Yeah.
to just tell people to stay
Well,
positive?
what I would say is that never lose hope,
Hmm.
because hope is something that's gonna, it's like this little light that you see at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah,
Keep hope, keep hoping, and like, yeah, work on yourself no matter what. Like, keep working hard, work out, 'cause keep stay ready, because having this hope, maybe like me, that happened. You have this phone call that you might have a fight, you know,
hmm,
and a fight, or sports event, depending what sport you're doing. But like, yeah, stay ready, because you never know, things can change, like just like that.
yeah,
And you have to be ready, because you would be like even more pissed off at yourself if the opportunity comes and you're not ready. That's the
yeah,
worst thing. So
yeah.
yeah, keep hoping and keep working hard no matter what. Keep grinding.
Okay, I'll take that advice too. Thank you. But let everybody know where they can follow you at. Just give me Instagram and if you have a Facebook or anything like that.
Well, you can follow me on my Twitter and my Instagram is at Aito Hine, so which is my nickname. So Aitohine, Aito Hine.
Okay.
So that's my Instagram and my Twitter. And I have a Facebook page. It's pretty much, if you type Flore Hani, it's gonna pop out. It's my athlete page. So yeah,
Okay.
that's all the infos.
All right. And I'll post it here anyway when I put the video up. So, I got you covered. But
But thank you for having me today on your podcast. And it's always, I always feel like happy to talk about my passion, and my job, and because I live for that. So for me, it's always like
oh,
a good
hey,
moment to talk about it.
hey, thanks for coming on. Like I said, I'm a big fan of, the sport and, women's MMA, I feel like a lot of women are just doing it. Sometimes they really just put everything on the line. And you guys, in Invicta too, are just, putting on good shows. So, I always appreciate that. So you're definitely good luck coming this
Thanks.
Thursday, and
Thank you.
anytime you want to come back on, you can come back on. Oh yeah, but thanks again and good luck, Flor.
Thank you.
All right,
Have
take
a good
care.
end of day.
Bye.
Bye bye. Again.
Okay,
Hey, I'm Flore Hani, and you can hear me talk on CB99 Talk.
there you go. That's
Sorry
great.
with the accent and everything. It's